Welcome to Britam Money Moves, powered by Britam Easy Anna. I'm Flavia and excited to have this conversation because, in Africa, everyone is auntie, uncle, my brother, my sister, auntie, mommy, daddy. But really, that circle, when you keep looking at where it ends, is as wide as it can go. So black tax, that thing where we support. I have people I support, I'm taking care of. And it really, really is a conversation must have if you're building wealth. So let's talk about it. Back is a financial expert and coach. She has to tell us about Shirays at some point. Marjorie Nantambi, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We
Flavia,
enjoyed how you broke things down last time. So
thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank
and we had
you.
also promised to come back and deal with our people.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Black tax, the time I tried to have a conversation around, I think, COVID time. And people were like, those are things that were discussed in apartheid.
Yeah.
Don't bring them up now. I'm like, okay, you can look for where the word came from.
Yes.
But it is what it is.
True.
So let's start from what it is so people can come up to speed on what we're going to be discussing today.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. And like you've said, that's actually where it originated from, South Africa, because then they had that apartheid, and then because not so many people were making money, so the few people that earned money had to take care of their families. Yeah. So that is where it started. And now it's here. We cannot run away from it because now it's like a Ugandan term. Everyone is saying black tax. Yes, but this is simply people that are able to earn or are earning. It is simply those people taking care of the relatives or the family members.
Although I think things have changed. Sometimes it's not the richest person in the family.
That's true.
Who's taking care of.
That's true.
It's the weakest that's saying no.
Yes, yes.
That's the one people will come to. Because I've seen families where there's somebody who's very wealthy, has got money, has got businesses, and is not bothered.
True.
When there's a complaint in the family group, check.
And no one even mentions anything to them because they know nothing.
So I guess it's not necessarily the ones who have so much, it's the ones who choose to do it.
Yes.
There are different facets of black tax. I know you and I were going back and forth on the different ways black tax happens or the support, but there's those people who are not married, don't have children, don't have supposedly obligations, but you have someone who, for example, is your parents. Maybe they're elderly or aren't able to earn, and those are the ones you're taking care of. And you can't start saying, but when will I ever stop taking care of you, mommy? Because it's your mother, So just the boundaries of black tax, the ones we can, the ones we can't. How do we draw those lines?
Sure, it's one of those things that are really hard on this journey of finances because, like they say in Uganda, it's a social culture. Like, you know how they say it takes a village to raise a child?
Yes.
So I think people are capitalizing on that to guilt trip us somehow into taking care of all these, the other siblings. But I think where we can draw the line is, first of all, understanding who your family is.
Yes.
Because sometimes, you have the immediate family, your parents.
I told you, by the time the circle is...
Yes. But then you find that you're taking care of an auntie's cousin's sister. So I think when we talk about having boundaries when it comes to black tax or giving, you cannot do away with giving 100% because somehow you know that that is how we've grown up. Like, someone helped your parents to get in school and now you're helping someone when it comes to school fees and all that. But I think when we talk about boundaries, it starts with, you can actually get a pen and draw a circle. You put yourself in the middle. You say, okay, me, I am here. Who is the
immediate circle?
Immediate circle. And like Flavia said, if you're not married, that is your parent, maybe your sister, your brother. If you're married, that is your husband and your children. That is the immediate circle. Because the moment you get married, they are inside and then the parents are out of that.
Can you imagine?
Yes. Your spouse and your children are now the most immediate, and then the parents come after that. So when you understand those dynamics, and then there are other relatives out of that circle of the parents, and then the far relatives, and then the friends are also somewhere, then it helps you plan your black tax. It helps you plan the money that you are giving. Because like we always say, you cannot solve everyone's problem. And that is the issue that we have.
But also the black tax conversation is you fully taking care of someone, whereas there's support, which Africans know as support. I'm just supporting my mother, I'm supporting my brother. You're not taking care of them from every responsibility, what they eat, what they, how they are dressed, where they sleep. No, maybe you pay school fees.
Yes.
And that's all you're responsible for. Someone says, me, I support on rent here and there. You're supporting.
Yes.
Because black tax is where I am You cough, I am the one. Anything happens, it is me, you
Yes.
know? So I feel like there's that stark difference of what it is. So I think that circle thing happens for those who are fully on you, you know,
Okay.
black
Yes.
taxing you. The ones who you have to take care of from head
Full
to
time,
toe.
yes.
But also, we have to discuss that gradual progress of letting go of black tax. Because if I've taken care of Marjorie since she was 5 years
Yes, yes.
old, now she's
Now she's
at
at
uni.
campus. Yes.
At what point do I
And sometimes even out of uni, but still
out of
calling you.
yes? At
Now
what
rent.
point? At what point should I start to realize that this has to be let go? You know, and what kind of conversation do I have at that point?
True. And I love the fact that you've talked about it, because the black tax, because there are so many people that we don't take care of fully, but it's still black tax. Even
Yes.
that school fees is black tax, the rent is black tax,
Yes.
and all of that. So I think having an honest conversation with the person or whoever it is that you're
Yeah.
supporting. There are many people, like we're having a conversation, some people support not because they love to support, but maybe for their parents.
Yes.
My mommy said, oh, we have to support this one. And you know how our mothers, like, there is that attachment to your parent. You're like, okay, I'll not say no because it's my mother. The mother
Yes.
says, okay, you know what, there is this young
Can you
girl
believe our
who-
neighbor's child is not going to school?
Can we do something for them? So you're like, I don't even know that neighbor you're talking about,
Yes.
but because it's my mother, let me do
Yeah.
it. So I think it starts with having an honest conversation with the people you're supporting.
Yeah.
And like we said, sometimes you support because of your parents. So you sit down with your parents, you're like, you know what? Maybe this is the phase I'm in my life. Maybe I need to achieve this, or maybe I'm getting married. Or even if you're not getting married, you're like, this is what I want to achieve in this time. And for me to get there, I'm not able to support fully.
Yeah.
And that is a conversation that so many people are afraid to have. Because we've grown up, we've heard about the term people pleasing.
Yes.
We want to please everyone. We want to be liked by everyone. So like,
I was actually
how?
about to tell you, do you know some people accept, in fact, even seek out black tax because of social capital? The name,
That's
they want the
true.
power, they want to
That's
be seen
true.
as, Gundi,
I know.
honestly, they've done everything for this community.
Yes.
They're not selfish.
I
So some
know.
people like the ring of that. They
True.
like the sound of, I'm doing this for me.
Yes.
I've educated all the children from our
Exactly.
village. I am the
Yes.
one who's built that church. I am the one who's, so some people
Yes.
like the ring to that.
True.
And it's because of that thing, the people pleasing. And so they wake up one day and they're like, but Margarine had money. What happened?
Yes, and you find that some of those people, they're doing so well out here, but their families are struggling.
Exactly.
Yes, their own child does not have school fees, but they're paying school fees for the
For everyone
entire
else.
village.
Yes.
So that's also a problem.
That's something they have. So check yourself. I'm
Yes.
not saying don't become Jesus if that is your calling, but regulate yourself.
That's
Speaking
true.
of regulating, where am I going to start if I'm going to regulate me? Let's say you found me at a confused point. I'm
Yes.
giving everyone and anyone who comes. The vigil, I'm the one. Everything,
Yes.
where do I start regulating? Let's say I know my income, I know what comes in. Am I starting from regulating the income that I'm
Yes.
going to put aside, or I'm regulating the relationships?
So it can work either way. So some people start with the money side. You're like, okay, this is what is coming in. They budget their money. They're like,
Yes.
okay, I have these goals. I need to achieve this and the other. Now this is the portion for
I can
giving.
give.
This is what I can afford. And anyone who comes out of this circle, I cannot be able.
Yeah.
And it's important for you to mention that amount even to the people you're helping, you're supporting, that you tell your parents, you know what, this is my budget for you in a
Yeah.
month. I can maybe handle giving you either 200,000 or 1 million, depending on your budget. And they know that is it, that if they call you again and you've already given that money,
Yeah.
they know her. You cannot get any other money from this
Yes.
person. So sometimes you can start from the point of the money side. You're like, you know what, this is the budget.
Yeah.
If you're not able to live within that, then sorry, I
What
can't
to
help
do?
you.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you can start with the relationships. You're like, you know what, maybe I've been supporting you like this, but unfortunately, I'm not able to. And also, how you can have those relationship conversations, the circle can guide. Because you can have someone who is so distant, when you draw your circle, like you don't see them anywhere close,
Yeah.
it's okay to talk to them. You're like, you know what, I've been supporting you with so-and-so, maybe school fees and all of that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at this point in my life, I'm not able to carry on.
Yeah.
So having that honest conversation, because then we are getting people entitled. And also delaying to give is another tactic, by the
Okay.
way. Like when someone goes, hey, Marjorie, sorry, I'm caught up in a situation. Can you please send this?
Some
And then
money.
you immediately send. That is the worst thing you can ever do.
Really?
It is the worst thing you can ever do to yourself.
Some of
Because
us are
you've
judging
sent a
ourselves.
signal. you've sent a signal to that person that, hey, you know, sometimes people are even testing you. Yes,
No.
yes. Okay, so when I call Marjorie, she'll give immediately. Okay. So
That's
that
not
is
good.
also, yes. So the delaying tactic can also help when it comes to giving and black tax. That when someone says, oh, I'm in this situation, I'm like, unfortunately, I'm not able to. Let's see, maybe Monday. Or if they give you an amount, you can cut it by half.
That one someone has told me. Actually, an aunt of mine has said, when someone asks for 100,000, you give 100,000.
Yes.
I said, but that's what they asked for.
Yes.
I was like, no, please.
Never give the full amount. Yes.
You give 50, let them struggle to get the other 50.
That
and
is
I'm
true.
Like, but nothing.
Yes.
So that one at least I've learned.
Yes, it's a very good thing to help us, because when someone asks for the full amount and then you give the full amount immediately, you've sent a signal to them that, okay, whenever I need anything, this is my go-to person.
The person to go to.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, it's like how they say that if someone you know won't pay back, if they borrow money, give them the amount you're ready to
let go.
Yeah.
That even if they don't pay back, it's
okay.
Yes.
I have a friend of mine who said, because I know the dependence I have and I know who I am, I'm not going to start saying I'm cutting off people. Let me set up something.
Yeah.
A little business, a little farm, a little this and that, that will help generate income. And who's going to work? You
Those
guys.
people, yes.
Cultivate this, take care of this, so that it can give you money. I don't want any interest.
Yes.
I don't want any money to come out of it. It's not a loan.
Yes.
I've given.
You.
Don't
take care
call
of
me.
you.
Yes.
That's true.
And I said to her, how far? She's like, yeah, they still come back. I said, exactly.
Yeah.
Because there's something lost there. And I think when I was sharing that, you said, empower them for whatever this is that they're going to do, so that they can take care of it. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So another thing that can help, and good you brought it up as well, is starting something for them. But also, do not just start something that you like. You need to have a conversation with these people. Sit your mom down and dad down if you're taking care of them. Ask them, so what do you want to do? Then they'll say, maybe I want to start poultry, or maybe you can put up a tank for us. I've seen some people who do that. Like you put up a huge tank for them in their compound. So people come to fetch water, they pay 100 shillings.
Right.
So for them, their role is to pick that 100 shillings from the person. And you tell them, you know what, all the money that comes out of that is your money, but do not call me in case of anything. So they also put in effort to do whatever project. If it's poultry, if it's farming, they'll put in the effort. But do not say, I think I should start a goat farm for them or farming for them.
Yes.
If they don't have the passion, the experience.
Or the energy.
Or even
maybe
the
you have
energy.
old aging parents, and they're not going to run around being in the farm for this. But also even your capacity, your earning capacity. I won't lie, I am that African who believes my parents are off limits, because I will give them, even if it's kidney, I will give you. Yeah. After that, of course, other people now, please, I don't have. But for parents, and I think it's that Ubuntu thing where you're like, man, they give everything for me.
Yeah, they sacrificed everything.
I will give everything for them as well. But I think some people are in a place where you're not the one choosing to give. Maybe the parents are putting you in a place
to give on your behalf.
not even give on your behalf, but they're putting you in a place where, because Marjorie went to Kampala, and is that big office,
True.
You have money.
And they see on TV sometimes.
Having to explain that you don't have the money.
True.
That's hard.
Yes.
Because they say, but you have.
Yes.
Or when you call to say, thank you for praying, I've gotten a promotion.
More money. That means more money. Yes.
How do we deal with such an instance? Because they're our parents, How do you politely say, okay, my promotion doesn't mean that I should increase?
Yes. I think still it comes back to that still honest conversation with them. I love you, definitely.
Yes.
You're my parents. I love you. I really appreciate everything that you've done for me. And I'm here to support you as well. But let us discuss this kind of support. How is it going to be coming through? Is it monthly? Is it such that it is structured in a way? Not because if you don't have that structure, they'll call you anytime. I had a daughter of what has swallowed something. I now this one has cut what. And then now that is when there are no limits to the giving. But the more you structure it, then it's easier for them and for you. They'll also understand, they've just sent us our monthly upkeep. We cannot call for this. So it's not that we are saying don't give the parents, no, but give them in a structured way, even those close relatives that you're taking care of. If it's school fees, you have your plan that, this is a kind of school I can afford, not just any school. And also, you can have levels to which you're like, okay, if your parents are maybe supporting another person and you're not paying, but they are like supporting. Yes. So you tell them, this is the kind of fees I can afford. So look for a school. In this. Don't just say, send me the school fees bank slip. No, tell them, you know what, this is the amount,
Yeah.
or maybe these are the schools.
Yeah.
And also this is the level that I'm going to support this child, maybe to primary, and maybe someone else can take on.
Yeah.
Or me, I'll pick on from secondary to maybe a university. Or me, I'll pick on university. So having those clear boundaries and
Yeah.
structures of our giving helps us better. Also, these relatives, you can say, okay, me, I'm paying your child's fees, but I don't want to know whether you've eaten or not. So me, my giving is school fees.
It's specifically this.
Specific giving.
Right.
Because if you do not limit that, then they'll call you for anything. Now you've not eaten, now water, now this, now clothes, now this. So when you structure your giving, it helps. Because you
Yeah.
cannot do away totally with the giving.
So there's a gentleman who said that said somebody came to him and was crying about I don't have money. There you see, and crying. He knows this person is very wealthy, has money, assets, as in can afford. And the person said, I wasn't even asking for much. I was asking for transportation,
Yeah.
you know. And the person looked me right in the eye and said, sorry, you must be tired. Are you hungry? Yes. Sat down, told him, eat. And I said, sorry. But yeah, you'll be fine. Things will get better, you know. Things will get better. Chin up, be strong.
Yeah.
Things will get better. I said, bye. And complained. So he said, for me, if that young man had asked for a job, I have very many jobs here that could give him the money he's asking for.
Yes.
And more.
Yes.
And consistently.
True.
But the young man asked for cash. I don't have
Yes.
free cash to give,
Yes.
but I have jobs. And I was thinking, okay, that's something maybe we don't even consider. Sometimes, this, you know, you can actually use them to support you
True.
in actually making
Yes.
the money, you know, although some people might argue that they shouldn't work with relatives. But do you think that's something that can actually work?
Yes, I think it can. But also when it comes to working with relatives, it has to be on merit. Like when you're getting your relative in, it has
And you don't
to be
think
on
if I'm
merit.
already spending 500,000 on you, just come and give it to you as a salary. You work.
I know that can happen, but you know that will damage the business as well, especially if they don't know what they're doing. You know, sometimes you just get someone from the village, some cousin from the village, they are
Yeah.
seated there not doing anything. Come to Kampala, come sit in my shop. They have no idea about
Yeah.
business, about how to handle clients. But of course, it also sometimes works with personality.
Yes.
You can see someone who has no idea, but they're willing to learn. So you can see that as well. And also it comes, the project we talked about, the personality also helps. Because you can put the project there, and this person is lazy, they're not doing anything,
Yeah.
and they're still coming up to you, yet you invested. So
Yeah.
same thing with the jobs. That when you give them a job, it's definitely better because now you're teaching them how to fish.
Yes.
You're not giving them the fish.
fish.
Like, if I give you this job, I'm not taking care of your school fees, rent, and all of those things. It's on you.
Yeah.
So that's the better way to do it. But also we need to make sure these people at least have the skills to start with.
Yes.
Are you willing to train them? Because it won't make sense for you to bring them. They have no idea what to do. But then they're still entitled somehow because they're like, the boss is my brother or the boss is my sister or cousin.
Yeah.
So they just do what they want. So they need to be willing to learn at least the skills, the ethics of business. And you also have to be willing to train them and teach them before you employ them. And they should also know what we follow, the rules we follow
Yes.
when you're employed as other employees.
Yeah.
Because that's the issue that we have. If they're not willing, then find something else to do. Or maybe get them a job somewhere else. Connect them to another...
Someone where they in
Yes.
something they can actually do.
Yes.
Are there more stories that say, even with black tax, I am able to absolutely grow my wealth? Is there more of those stories or the ones that are saying, with black tax, I am failing to move 10 steps forward because I'm
Yes.
always moving steps
Yes.
backwards?
Yes.
Which side are we leaning on? Which one has more stories happening?
From where I sit as a finance coach, I usually have these issues. We have
Yes.
one-on-ones and all of that. And the biggest percentage is on the other side.
Right.
That because of black tax, I'm not able to. We hear you talking about goals, set goals, but I cannot. I cannot even achieve anything.
Yeah.
I set my goals on to save this, and then they call you, oh, this sister has no school fees. Oh, this one has this one has the other. So the biggest percentage is we are affected by the black tax.
Yeah.
And it's not going away anytime soon. So you just need to learn how to deal with it, to learn how to budget for it, to learn how to have those conversations, and also sometimes to say no. And you know, for most of the times we thought the burden is more on the maybe firstborn child. But these days there are firstborn children who don't care. And now it's on any other sibling. And I like what you said, that sometimes it's not the one who earns the most, but the one who lets
The
in.
kindest.
The kindest.
The one who's afraid to say no is the one who gets taken
that is
advantage
true.
of.
So
yeah.
we have so many people like that who are like, how can I say no to supporting this person? You know, even me, my mother used to struggle, and these people came
Yes.
through. So I think, and it's important for us on this journey as well to learn to be frugal, like we said last time. That being frugal doesn't mean you're not giving, but you are planning. You're giving with a more informed mind.
Yes, it's your intention on what you're giving,
Yes.
how much you're giving, and to what situation.
That's true.
Yeah.
I had someone who came to me in one of the sessions that I had, and she said, you know what, one time we had a conversation, a one-on-one on them. So she was like, you know what, let me go back and do this. She came back to me recently and she was like, you know what, Majo, I've actually been able to put up apartments simply by saying no to some of these obligations that I had. So sometimes you need to get to that point, especially when you have a goal that you want to achieve.
Yeah.
You say, you know what, if I'm having this goal and I want to achieve it by this time, then I need to limit the money that I am putting aside, that I'm giving these other people. And also still, the circle will help. You know that you can't do it with the parents, so those ones are in. But then these other relatives, we have weddings, we have introductions, we have all these things coming through every single day. You wake up, you're in a new WhatsApp group, people are getting married. You don't even know them. Or maybe you heard about them, their relatives and all of that. So we just need, on this journey, to get structured.
Yeah, and sometimes someone is like, but you're selfish, because they imagine their problem is maybe 50,000 shillings.
Yes.
And for you, you're crying about the fact that you haven't paid $4,000 a
I
term
know.
for your child in school, and they're like,
But me, I only want 50K.
they're like, I'm sure you have 50,000. Forget about the
first give me that
$4,000.
50K, then
Yeah.
you'll
What
care for your
about
problems.
groups, as you know, family groups? Because you know,
Yes.
at work, some people do savings groups, and they'll help each other out on the day when you're really broke.
Yes.
But families could do the same. You know, pool money together,
Yes.
so that it's easier to draw from a pool than draw
True. From one person.
Yes.
That is true. That's another thing that helps, that is helping families. So we have what we call the family circles that are
Yes.
starting out, where a family sits together, because usually every year at least the family comes together. It could be
Yes.
December. So instead of just meeting and you're laughing all these jokes, that is okay, catching up. But also you can have that suggestion. Hi, friends or family, can we do this? What do you think about this? And then you can have different amounts. Maybe if you're more capable, you put in more. Yeah, and then those that are not, at least they put in that little, but it's there, such that the school fees of the clan is not on you. But you draw from that
One
pool. You're like,
pool.
okay, how many young siblings do we have? What level are they? Okay, we have maybe 10 in primary. We have 2 in secondary. So you draw from that pool. You're coming together with a few resources, but when you put them together, they help a lot than all the burden being on one person. Yes.
But also there might be that conversation of, but you have.
Yes, why don't you just give
Give. No, give more than Flavia will give, because you already have
you have more.
It's like guilt tripping.
Yes.
How do we deal with that?
So for that, you come up with an amount, a set amount that you feel can cut across. You're like, okay, even this person who has more, this is what we are all contributing. So you have a uniform amount that you all give, maybe monthly or weekly or daily, depending on what you agree on, such that still the burden is not on this
But
person.
isn't it redundant if we just put the money in, take the money out? Put the money in, take. Should we work on maybe investing the money? Should it multiply in any way?
Yes.
So it's sustainable.
Yes.
I don't know. Versus the just take it out, take it. Because other people will keep having children.
True.
Because there's
we have so
school
many.
fees.
We
There's
have
free school
so
fees.
many, so many, and usually those that don't have the money are those that give birth the most. Because they're
she
like,
said it.
we have a pool of school fees, so my kids will be sorted.
Yes.
Yeah, so that happens as well. But I think, like you said, it's also important for you now to ask yourself, how are you going to grow the money? Definitely putting in the money is the first step.
Yes.
And because usually we put the money together to solve these immediate problems of school fees and all of that. But then you need to get to the next level where, like, okay, so how do we grow this money? So maybe we shall save a percentage of it. We put it either in a unit trust or we buy land somewhere. That is when you start progressing. But usually when you start, it is to take care of these needs. But what some families do, and it happens in circles as well, you're investing, but you have like the welfare bits of it as well. So the welfare takes care of the needs, school fees, and also you need to be specific. What is this circle helping?
Yes.
Not everything that someone will call, we don't have food, you pick from that group saving. So you need to be clear. Is it for school fees?
Yes.
What is the money for. Because if you're not clear, then someone will say, okay, for me, my kids are already out of school. How am I benefiting from this?
Exactly.
So you need to know, okay,
where
what
everyone,
do we support? How can they
can
benefit?
be supported.
Yes.
I think I've seen my mother's side of the family. They have, you know, the family groups, and I think how they did it is that there is families. So you know, there's the, like, even in one family, there is the Tumsime Flavia, the Tumsime family, there's Nantambi, there's the Who's.
Yeah.
So that's how they are grouped. So when there's a contribution asked for, it is the Tumsimes
who contribute.
So like my family with my, if I had brothers, and we would put together and give that amount.
Okay.
Not being counted as Flavia and brother
I think that
and
helps
sister.
as well.
It is the families.
Yes.
So maybe your great grandfather is called, you know, Tumsime. So then the families that are born out of that person, you give as that family.
Yes.
So the burden is not.
It reduces on the individual.
Because if you're 8 siblings.
Yes. You can
and the contribution is 200K.
Yes.
You're sorted.
Sorted. Really,
then the ones who are 3 maybe feel that, but at least you're not contributing as an individual.
That's true.
And then one thing I've seen them do is that they don't just pull the money together. They just talk. They're in a group and they talk. So if something happens, let's say we're getting married, they have their, like, sort of a document that guides them, you know, where they say that Mweba Mbaga, you know, if it's a wedding, if it's a kinja, if it's something, this is the amount each family
contributes.
Gives. So you know, if there are 6 families, it is that amount times 6.
Yes.
If it's a funeral, this is what we give. So you already know. So it's almost
and
like
that's the structure that helps.
And so you fulfill the thing in you which says, I'm giving.
Yes.
But without feeling
the burden that comes with it. True.
Yeah. So I'm not saying they should replicate, but each family should get their way where, like you said, one person isn't saying, "Me, I don't need school fees."
True.
Where am I giving? And you're waiting. Find the thing that works for you guys.
Yeah.
What else would you want us to know about this black tax? Whether as you know, we chatter at whatever age, of course. Yes.
Because it comes at any age. There are people that are younger, but you're taking care of your older siblings. Like you're taking care of your big bro, your big sis. They're coming to you for all of this. So it happens, and also maybe for the people, because still in my sessions, some of the people that come through are people that are working in the diaspora. And they say, you know, the minute someone goes out of the country, in our minds, we know that person is earning dollars. So clearly, you have more money. So that is the issue that they have, that they want to invest, they want to put up things in the country, but they're always called, they keep calling them, oh, now we need this, now we need school fees, now you know this person, now this person is sick, and all of that. So still, I think what can help is that structure, having your goal, but also having that structure that, you know what, and also what we need to know as people, that we should not be entitled that much, especially for people that are working out of the country, because still, definitely they may be getting the money, but still the cost of living there is crazy. It's really high. So if you call someone working abroad and they say, I don't have the money, believe them. Maybe they
genuinely
actually
don't have.
So because sometimes we give because of the guilt. Not that we want to give, but you know that guilt. You're like, are you sure? So still the structures will help anywhere, at any level, to know what am I giving, who am I giving,
how often
is very, very important. And letting the other people know, it is also very important from the onset, that you know what, I'm going to support you maybe for this month or for this year and up to this time, and this is the amount. Because when you leave it open, then all phone calls will be coming through.
Be like those people who look at the what is it, the budget for weddings. Create your soul, baby.
I know you've been looking for that price. Oh, you see salt somewhere. I'll cover the salt.
Every time you're like, they already covered the soda.
I know.
So always have that thing that for you know you can afford.
Have your limits there, that whenever someone calls me, if it's a wedding, this is it. Already in your mind. If it's a burial, this is it. If it's this is it.
My cup. It's been really beautiful to have this conversation with you. Leave in the comments what you think. I know you might be saying, but I'm the one who gets the help. Leave us alone. Whatever it is, this has been a conversation that keeps on going. Thank you so much, Marjorie.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes.